from Kenosha, Madison, and somewhere in Door County, Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 890 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John Jacobson. And joining us tonight, I'm excited.
That's right.
Ben Heck's here. Now, Ben was on the show a long time ago, like maybe 5-6 years ago or something. But Ben, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm still around. Yeah, I'm here.
Good. That's a good thing.
If you're not aware, Ben, I was going to say, Ben, how would you describe yourself? Is it, the way I remember it is that did you do like an N64 portable and then like joystick or Engadget? Is that like 20 years ago or something? Like,
yeah, that's getting on to 20 years ago. I used to build a lot of portable stuff. That's how I kind of got my start.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to being a corporate YouTube guy.
Yep.
Then I did that for about 8 years, and then I stopped doing that because of the grind.
Yeah.
And right now I program pinball machines full time. So that's my current gig.
Which is great. For Spooky, right? Is it just Spooky?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, just Spooky. Yep.
And you guys just shipped The Evil Dead, is that correct?
Started shipping this prior weekend, so about 9 days ago, I want to say.
Nice. And you
Awesome.
did, I remember, America's Most Haunted, and then other...
Yes.
Like
the
horror.
first Spooky game.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw?
Oh, yeah. I that was the one I coded prior to Evil Dead. So Texas Chainsaw started shipping. I think we started shipping that one like last March. So that's been just going on a year now. So then after that one, I started on Evil Dead.
And are you making like a PS5 Pro portable?
Well, we have some questions about the Xbox handheld ideas. People want to know what you would do.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like...
Isn't there a rumor that they're going to make one?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so
a PS5 portable, too.
WWBD. What would Ben do with the Xbox handheld? Because what I say is I want them to put Windows on it so you can get on Steam. Like, what are your thoughts with what you think we might see or tech-wise, or what would be your dream kind of thing for Xbox? Because they need something, right? They need some hardware.
They are allegedly making one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the rumor.
It'll probably be a streaming device.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh,
I don't
really?
know.
Wait,
no,
local.
Go on.
Well, okay, so there's two rumors. One is that Sony's working on a non-streaming handheld, like the Vita or PSP 2, and that Microsoft is also doing
Vita
some.
2.
I think it's be PSP 2. No, right?
Oh, they're gonna just forget the Vita ever existed.
Kind of. I remember the PSP more. Am I wrong in that?
The PSP was a lot more
fun.
successful than people. I mean, they sold quite a few of those. That was like the most successful non-Nintendo handheld by a country mile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Microsoft's going to do some kind of Steam Deck competitor, but in the Xbox world.
But they are pushing their cloud
really?
thing. So Ben is right. That's like, I'm sure that's a
but
part of it.
They already
John,
pushed that. Like you can do that
in
on
a
Steam
handheld
Deck
device, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see.
Go ahead, Ben.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that get through our intro and then maybe we'll talk about what games Ben is playing. We also have like tons of questions from you guys, news that's topical. So we're excited for this show. But I did want to say that, John, you and I are actually on the award panel for the CD Keys Game Awards. That's right.
We're
kind
flying
of like
to where are we? It's like
I think, luckily it's in LA, so I don't have to go far. But what I wanted to share this because you guys can actually vote too. You can go to cdkeys.com/game-awards and you can vote now. It closes in 9 days and it's 100% online event, but it's going to be during like the British Esports Federation event. They're going to have like a live stream. Christopher Judge is getting an award. He's going to have an acceptance speech and all that. So it's kind of getting official. This is the first time they're doing this. We're happy to be partners and be on the panel and getting to vote for Game of the Year and all the other fun categories. So you guys can come down and vote for that, as well as every week we give away games in our Discord. And this week it's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which we're going to talk about tonight, as well as Sniper Elite Resistance and maybe some other games pop up there as well. We have those Gunnar glasses going on until February 14th. Gunnar. So if you want to win games from CD Keys in the VGO Discord, head to videogameoutsiders.com. And if you guys support us anywhere, you get extra entries, but it's completely free to join and enter. So we've been pumping out game giveaways like every week, sometimes 2-3 games. So that's been fun to give back to you guys. And of course, right now we're live on twitch.tv/JJCamp. John and Michelle. We do it every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can listen anywhere podcasts are. But during the week, John, we do bonus shows on our app. Some are free, some are premium. And if they want to support us, how do they do that? Let's get all this junk out of the way so we can talk to them.
That's right. Go to our website, videogameoutsiders.com. When you get there, there's a red premium button. Click it, lick it, slam it, whatever you need to do. Go to the next page. It's $1.99 a month to join Club VGO. Once you're a member, you unlock our entire back catalog of 20 years now. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And
time flies.
I know, doesn't it?
And we are having fun, though.
Yeah, and you also get access to all of our bonus content that we do every single week. We do Micro VGO, The John Show, PC Outsiders, Netflix, Amazon, whatever. It's all on the app. Go to videogameoutsiders.com, go premium. Then also do grab our free app. If you want to listen to the free shows like this one, you can do that. Search for Video Game Outsiders on iOS or Android. Then once you go premium, you can unlock the bonus content on the app. All right.
Well, here's a question. Sweeney says that they love the Hacks channel and they want to know if you're going to, or maybe you did, play the Indiana Jones game because you like the old movies, right?
Oh, of course I played that game. Yes,
okay,
I'm
good.
a Indiana Jones fan. Yes.
All right. So we'll
that was one of the few new games I played in the last year, so we can definitely talk about it.
Good. I want to talk to you about that.
I'm going to talk about it.
Okay, good.
So Ben, so Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favorite movie of all time. It was the first VHS tape my dad ever bought. And
Back
it was
in the 80s?
Yes,
something?
and it was used. It was a previous rental, so it was in the wrong box.
Yeah, because rental tapes,
yes,
videotapes are really expensive back then.
Right. So I couldn't believe he bought
with
it.
Movies on them,
and we weren't exactly flush with cash, and he bought this. It was in the wrong case. It was like a brown case. Okay.
Yeah.
But I cherished that thing, and I watched that movie so many fucking times. So what is your favorite Indiana Jones movie?
It's also Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh.
Michelle likes Temple.
Temple of Doom. I grew up watching that on HBO. The hand and the heart, and that scarred me for life. So, but I have to go rewatch them because everybody says what you guys say. They're just like,
well, actually, you know what? I'll give you this, Michelle. I like Temple of Doom better than Last Crusade.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because there's more Temple of Doom lovers out there than you might think.
It's darker.
Okay.
Last Crusade is
it's
more
definitely darker.
I always hear Last Crusade or Raiders. Yeah.
Last Crusade's, I think, more bubblegummy, kind of. Compared to the other two.
The Last Crusade, I mean, obviously I love
it's
them
fun.
all. And, Sean Connery is great. The Last Crusade was a bit overly jokey.
Yeah.
Because, you see people complaining about, people complain about, Shia LaBeouf swinging on vines and stuff, or aliens or time travel in those other two movies that were outside the trilogy. But then, there's some pretty dumb stuff in Last Crusade, like when the pilot flies to the tunnel. Why
I was thinking exactly that scene with the umbrella
it was Sean
and the
Connery,
birds.
so he got away with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the end was cool. You chose poorly.
Oh yeah, the end is great, and and it's really a story about a father and son reconciling. It's not really about the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was the Holy Grail for them.
Them
getting
deep.
together.
This is deep, John.
Junior, let it go.
Junior.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But no, I got to go back and watch Raiders. But so we're going to talk about Indiana Jones, John. I know you got out of the Vatican. You're in Egypt. I want to check in with you.
Well,
I don't
know.
Oh, so you just started this game?
No, this is the way. This is the way he plays games.
Okay. It all makes sense, Ben.
He's only
Don't
playing
worry.
because we guilted him into playing more. That's the only reason he's like. But he liked it.
It's a time thing.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Go
All
on.
right.
And the thing is, it's my favorite movie. I need to play this fucking game, but we're constantly reviewing games, okay? So I'm always moving forward.
That's all right.
Oh no, I understand. You don't get to savor it, so it's
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, why don't we move on? Let's do our 10-second spotlight, where each of us has 10 seconds, or fictional 10 seconds.
That's right.
To talk
I
about
wish it
what
were
we're
real
doing this week.
But
yeah.
All right, so let's talk quickly about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know, John, you actually played as well.
I did.
Now, I can't remember if
a
you
little before the
had
show.
History with the first game at all.
No, none, zero, zilch.
So I played a little bit of the first game. I liked it, but the combat was just too janky for me. So I was hopeful going into this one because I heard it's like the first game, but better, and that they did redefine the combat a bit. And if you don't know, or Ben, if you don't know, this game is all about realism. It's sort of like a medieval sim that takes place in the 15th century of Bohemia, which I think is Czech Slavic area now, but it's all about realism, not like a power fantasy. You don't like have a big sword where you're just like one-shotting people. Because John, did you go through the little combat like training sequence where it's okay? Yeah, it's like you learn that you have to do a lot of hits and where to
the combat's
weak
pretty cool.
Armor.
I like the little like the sword combat. You kind of lock in and get with the opponent, and then there's like a little cross and up, down, left, right, and that's kind of showing you where you're going to hit.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually a really good way to handle it.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it's a true open
locked.
world medieval RPG. If you don't know, I mean, but like I said, the emphasis there is some patience, some realism. Like this isn't like a fantasy world. It's based in sort of reality, and you start to get into that. You might get a little impatient at first. I don't know if you felt that, John, because it's
the dialogue's insane.
Yeah, the dialogue. But you know what? I actually got into it though. Like I find myself into the character Henry, into the story, into what's happening. I don't want to spoil anything because the game just came out. You know, there's sort of an event in the beginning, and then you're on the run and whatever. And you're getting into this story. But patience is key with this game, with the fighting, I think with the exploring, with the dialogue, with the story, with the world. But I don't know, I'm enjoying myself so far. And I think it does feel good to kind of play something that feels like a true game from a medieval period that took place in that zone. You know, there's not a 6-foot-tall woman with pink hair next to me fighting. It's just you and, you know, you're just a bunch of knights out there. It feels like you're back in that time.
Yeah.
You know, it's some crazy world with some unrealistic crap going on. It almost feels like that's, like I said, that medieval simulator. So I don't know. I'm having a good time. Like the dialogue options, John, like your play style is going to matter. Like I know people always say that, but there's like some bad choices and they sort of encourage you to take them. You know?
Get like stat points as you're doing the dialogue, like what you decide on. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and some of them, like, they're not good choices, but you kind of want to take them. And like, so you can play around. Actually, you feel like you could be kind of good or bad, but more like what you're doing really does matter. It's not just like some vapid, you know, fake RPG, which sometimes we get. And the music is amazing. Like whoever did this, it's like a medieval Star Wars. Like, yeah.
Like the whole, I was kind of in awe right away with visually with the set and the world and the music. It all just worked together. And like that whole opening sequence in the castle where you're defending it was so fucking epic. And it felt real to me. Because like
cinematic
to me, like,
too.
Well, like medieval times, like it's so like far away from me. Like it's almost cartoony in a way. Like the people felt real. Like there was a real war and they're like seriously scared. Like, you know, like Saving Private Ryan or something, but it was medieval. And like I was instantly like kind of sucked into that whole world, and I couldn't believe how great it looks. Do you agree? Like
good.
the setting,
and it's
the
apparently
detail.
Like I don't remember having issues with the other one, but people were concerned because it was very poorly optimized. This one's way better, and there's a lot of detail. Has ultra wide support, looks great, and different, but kind of in a good way. Like refreshing, I'd say. Just that realism. That
it's nerdy, honestly. Like like it's like like if you're a history nerd, which I'm becoming in my old age,
right?
Like I'm kind of into this. But the dialogue, I mean, listen, I'm in the very beginning. I played right before the show.
And hold on, Ben got disconnected, so he needs to be pulled back in.
He's back.
Yeah, pull him back in. Sorry, Ben, we didn't see that you got disconnected.
Yeah, I had to hit refresh, but it appears I'm back now.
Yeah,
you're back. I was just rambling about Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
That it's like this perfect medieval sim kind of realism game. It's not like a fantasy kind of, you've got dragons and you're shooting fireballs out your ass or anything like that. But it's refreshing.
Now, I read,
it's different.
Michelle,
I think dragons fire them out of their mouth, but yes.
Well, you aren't doing it. I don't know. I think I've played some game where it was out of the butt. That might
I
have been
don't know.
Not
Sometimes
safe for
I've had enough
episode.
Taco Bell that fireballs come out of my ass.
That's true. Or maybe we should make that game. Let's do a pinball with it just shooting them out your butt. But John, sorry, go ahead.
Asses of fire.
No, I was going to say, people were comparing it to like Red Dead, like some of the open world stuff and mechanics they might have lifted from Red Dead. I can kind of see that. I mean, I haven't been let loose into the world at all.
Yeah.
Like I just set up the camp. And by the way, I think
the medicine woman.
No, I'm in the camp right now, which by the way, I'm curious if you did the camp.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the reason I'm asking you this is because I had a dialogue choice that I think I fucked up. Because you know, like in the beginning when you're going down the road.
I don't really want to give spoilers with like.
I know, but I think I fucked up a dialogue choice, and I was forced to set up a camp in the middle of the woods. I think the other option was to follow these guys and go kill bandits. I'm not sure, but it seems that way.
Well, like I said, you really are going to think about some of the choices already so far, and it just feels good. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I need to play more. I just played like 2 hours before the show. I got to the medicine woman, and like, you know, I'm starting to go out and explore the actual open world. So
yeah. Right
And
now,
you said it's
I'm.
in Eastern Europe.
It's Bohemia.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
15th century
fictional.
Bohemia. No, I think that was a region at the time, right? It's like not Czechoslovakia, but some.
Yeah, it's probably
Czechia.
the eastern side of Europe. Because back then they had like Germania and
Yes.
Englandia, and it was all like regions before. It
And
was
the guys who
countries.
made it are like all about this. We're from here. This is our history. This is accurate. This is the stuff they wore. These are the swords they used. So it's like there's so much stuff that's going above my head. But I feel like you said, John, like an actual history buff might get a lot out of this
Yeah,
too.
this is in English literature. This is known sometimes as the Czech Kingdom.
Right.
It has Czech, German, and Latin roots.
Yeah, no, it feels good. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just a boring history simulator, but it's like, it's a game, but it's got this realistic like sim tinge to it that I've kind of enjoyed because it's different than the stuff I just can't, like I didn't enjoy Dragon Age and I just came off that. And it's like, I've got other RPGs coming up like Avowed and I'm worried that, so I love fantasy, but it is kind of nice for me to get out of a fantasy world and play something realistic. So I do recommend Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know, John, we're both going to play more this week. We are giving
I'm
away
going to play
a
more.
copy
I'm
in
bathing right
Discord.
now with some guys.
Oh, good.
Does your character die at age 29 because they like cut their
Well,
toe or
there are talks of like, bar wenches, and I'm like, I don't want
A
syphilis.
lot.
What's going
lot of
on?
that.
There's
That's
maidens
all they.
bathing.
Well, that's like the whole thing. Like you're like in the woods, you're traveling with these guys, and all they can talk about is how they're going to get to the bar and meet women. That's all they're talking about and
Well, I mean, it's
dreaming
kind
about.
of realistic, right?
That's
You
probably
didn't
how
have
it
much
was
to
back
live
then,
for.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
a beer.
It's like, okay, we just got to do this. We just got to do this. Then we could drink, and then we can talk to the women. Like,
I mean, it's kind of the same way now, but guys are more distracted.
And what has really changed? We just bathe more often.
right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't smell as bad now, but yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
but no,
it's the smell.
I like the game, I have to say, and it's going to make you want to get into like medieval stuff and history. I think, John, like you said, like I want to learn more about like it's
Yeah.
just
Watch
it's badass.
Excalibur.
Yeah,
when
I
we
need to
did
watch
when
that
we
again.
did the whole King Arthur thing, I got into that too, and Excalibur was fucking phenomenal. And I haven't
Oh
seen-
yeah, yeah.
Because I watched that when I was a kid, and it was way over my head. And I revisited it like a few years ago. All I can remember when I was a kid, and I talked about this a long time ago, was the sex in the armor. Like
That really-
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
mark
say
on you.
there's some stuff in that. There's some stuff in that movie that's probably not super great for kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I think
yeah.
I was probably like 8 or 9 when I saw that.
Oh, that's nothing. I grew up watching Real Sex on HBO because I had an older sister.
I know.
And I'm still fine. Armor
Yeah, I
sex,
know.
you lived. But kids these days, they've seen all sorts of stuff. But we don't recommend your
Yeah.
children play this game either because there's a lot of blood. Like I watched a woman get hacked up in this game already. I won't say who it is, but there's this game can be kind of gory and like violent and like in a realism way. So. But it's cool. It's a cool adult RPG. So check out Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I think
John.
they-
We'll
I
probably
read
bring
they
up more
added-
about it.
Crossbows, which you get to play with immediately, and I guess firearms. Is that possible? Was there gunpowder back then?
You said it was the 1500s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it existed. It was pretty early. I mean, that stuff came from China originally. But
Right,
yeah.
right.
Right. Weren't they using it for fireworks or something? But then we took it and put it into gun source. I don't know how it goes. I got to.
Well, of course we did.
That's true.
Now, wait a second.
We could kill
Why don't
people with
we
these fireworks.
shoot these
Pretty lights.
at
Let's just
people
shoot
instead of the sky? Why are we shooting into the sky? I'm going to shoot it at this guy.
That's true.
Yeah,
Kiwi says now we get
exactly.
fentanyl from China. Yeah, that's true. Now we're always getting stuff. It's keeps
Yes,
the world going.
somebody got killed in the medieval 4th of July, and they're like, wait a minute, we
Yeah,
can make guns
we can
out of
do
this. Wait, what's a
can do
gun?
something.
Let's invent it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the guns yet, John. Maybe they're just like I just went for sword and I want to try the bow, but
Well,
yeah,
I
so-
think it comes later, obviously, but
Yeah,
I read
okay.
that there's guns in it.
Okay. Well, good. That's good to know. So yeah, we'll play more. We'll
They
talk
just
about
have
it
a
next
really
week.
low reload speed, so it's
Right.
balanced.
Right. But you got to kill some people so you can get back to your bar wenches and your barmaids and get whatever's going on. That's what happened back then. I mean, it feels
So
like I
on-
said, it's a medieval sim.
Yeah. PC Gamer says that the guns are very, very bad, but that's what
well,
makes
they
them
should be.
fun.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
They're
There's
saying
no power
it's
fantasy
gonna
here.
be
You
a
don't
meme
feel like
weapon.
a god. Yep.
Like it looks like a pipe and you like light a fuse.
I mean, the main reason you would shoot someone back then is so they would get an infection. That's how you really killed them.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd want a
You just
gun
cough
versus
on
a
them.
sword. Give him a blanket. All right. Well, let's move on to the RPG that took up most of my time. And I feel a little bit of shame saying this, John, but I blame you. I do blame you because you told me I had to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Now, this was
Yes.
the Apple Arcade Game of the Year. It won all sorts of awards. I have this idea in my head that any adult who likes Hello Kitty is a weirdo. And I shouldn't say that because I'm a kid at heart and I like kiddish things. But I just, like, the game had a taint to me, John. I'm not going to lie. Okay. It was
Well,
like
Hello Kitty is like a weird, yeah.
Yeah, but I was, it wasn't my thing, right? But I liked Animal
Right.
Crossing. I like some of these Nintendo games that people bring up when they talk about this game. And you were right. Like, it is Animal Crossing, but to me, better. It's got a lot of like Zelda elements to it because there's like
quests
exploring
and
different
stuff, right?
biomes. Yeah. Every character has their own like battle pass. But here's the thing with this game that I didn't know. So on an old episode of South Park, and it was the World of Warcraft one, which we've all seen, Butters said that he was playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure and not World of Warcraft. Well, the game didn't exist then. And people say that
kidding
they
me?
took the name from that South Park episode. It sort of inspired this game, which I don't know how true that part is, but it is true that that was on the South Park episode. And yeah, like it's getting well reviewed. I honestly, some debate over the price, $40 or $60 for the deluxe for a direct Apple Arcade port, but they did PC settings and bindings. It kind of has ultra wide support because of the phone aspect ratio. It's going to scratch that Animal Crossing, Nintendo, Zelda puzzler itch. Like, it really is. Like, I've put 25 hours in. I really love it. I think it's charming. I had a stressful week and it was relaxing. I log in every day. I give out all my gifts. I explore all the stuff. I get all the mailboxes. I collect all the like, you're just having fun. Like, you don't have to like Hello Kitty. If you at all like Dinkum or Animal Crossing or any little casual survival crafts or Breath of the Wild, even because there's like puzzles, like mini dungeon-y type things, John. You like light crafting,
That's cool.
decorating houses. Like, I really do recommend this, and I think it's great on PC. It's also out on Switch, by the way, and I think Kevin, CC Games, said he's been selling a lot. I think the physical version comes out next month, but it's digital only right now, Switch. So it's on Switch and PC, and I really, really recommend Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I never thought I'd say that, but I do.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I played it because everybody was freaking out about it on Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
And I played
can
it for like
see
20
why.
minutes, and I'm like, okay, Michelle needs to play this. I could tell already.
The beginning
And
was
it-
hilarious. And
And
it
the
was
and
kind
the
of
plane and
awkward
stuff?
timing because of the plane.
Yeah.
But anyway, you start
Yeah.
off on a plane with a bunch of animals in the Hello Kitty world. And all of a sudden, the oven starts shitting out cakes all over the place. And they get up and the pilot starts yelling, there's too many cakes on the damn plane. So they make like a Sam Jackson, like motherfucking snakes on a plane joke in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's do this. It's not like it's kind of got some
There's
adult
too many
stuff.
cakes on the motherfucking
Yeah, they say
plane.
there's too many. I wish they said motherfucking, but they didn't. They said there's too many cakes on the plane. And then they're like, everybody get your parachutes and jump out. And there's just cakes flying out of the oven on the plane. So you land on this abandoned island, luggage is everywhere. You got to find it all, give it back to people, give them all gifts every day. Like I said, every character
That's
you
the
meet has
part
their
I
own
did.
battle
I did all
pass.
that shit. I did
Well,
all that.
you didn't do all of it.
Well, I did
Yeah,
the
it's
luggage
like-
thing. I found the luggage. That's right. That's
Well, there's
all I
like
did.
10 luggage. There's everybody
found
has their
some
own
of
piece
the
of
luggage.
luggage. Yes. Every day new things pop up on the island. There's events.
Yeah.
It's real time, and they warn you don't change the clock because there's no Rossetti in this one. But they say like don't change the clock because you can't do multiplayer if you change the time and all this stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, if you at all like Animal Crossing or even like casual Breath of the Wild, like dungeoning, you've got to check this game
multiplayer,
out.
like MMO
Yeah.
type shit,
I think you can have somebody come visit your town and do stuff with them. I haven't tried that out.
like Animal Crossing had.
Yeah, but like I said,
you
have
open your gates.
every pal has their own battle pass that you meet, so it's kind of fun because that you can like get them to come with you and they give you perks. So one guy will make you run faster, another guy lets you climb better, another guy gives you a perk for when you give out gifts. Like so you want to like level up with every character and do all the quests every day. And like it was such a pleasant surprise that like I just think it's cute, the art's great. It's really, really good. So it's not just for kids, not just for little girls. I think anybody who likes this sort of stuff could get a kick out of it. So check out Hello Kitty Island Adventure on Steam and Switch, as well as Apple Arcade, maybe. I think it's still there, but I really think the like keyboard felt great. They have key bindings. You can play with a controller. So pleasantly surprised.
I'm curious what's different about this compared to the Apple Arcade
There's
one.
no difference.
Really?
The deluxe version
Okay.
you can get does come with like all the event stuff, but there's no difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why people were like, oh, it's $40 for an Apple Arcade game. Yeah, but there's hundreds of hours in this game, and it really does feel like it's better than Animal Crossing. I'm just going to say, I got bored with Animal Crossing pretty quickly. I haven't gotten bored with this yet. Yeah. I think Nintendo's slipping, John. I think.
And is this like a living game where they keep adding
Yes.
shit like all the time? Okay.
Yep. What's up, Young Guns? Thanks for coming down. I think this game is great and I really recommend looking at it. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm just drinking water with True Lemon and True Lime. John, what did you do in Indiana Jones and Sniper Elite Resistance, which we're giving away?
Where in the world
Oh, no.
is John? In Indiana Jones.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Egypt still.
Okay.
And there you have it. That was
That's it? That's your
in the
update?
world is John.
All right.
Indiana.
Now, did you finish the game, Ben? I feel like you may have finished it.
How long does it take this fucking guy to finish a game?
All right, and then
That
I
was
also
very elaborate.
Yeah, that's what John does. He's
This
put
is
more
a
time
new-
into that than the game, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, he could have finished the game by now.
So this is a new bit. There's going to be weekly updates
Okay, I
on
can't
where I
wait.
am in Indiana
Oh,
Jones.
great. Yeah, this is exciting. So you're in
No,
Egypt.
I'm still I'm in Egypt. I have a lot of tasks.
This is a great
You know, it's-
review.
It's a big sprawling area.
Did
You don't have to finish all the tasks to progress the story. You can actually miss quite a bit.
Right
and
now,
still win the game.
I'm
Yeah.
following a cable, a wire, an electrical cable to find the
pyramid.
power. So, Ben, how much did you play of this game? Or did you finish it?
I finished it. I didn't like 100% or anything, but I did. I did go all the way through. Yeah, you can. Well, the major areas you can skip quite a bit of stuff
Yeah.
and still get to the main story, which I thought was very interesting because there was like cutscenes that I'd seen in reviews that I didn't even experience in the game. Like the one
There's
where
side
like-
quests.
not even side quests. Like in the Vatican, like the part where you're in the confessional and the guy talks about sleeping with his mother-in-law.
See, I
like-
never saw that.
Yeah, so I saw that in a review, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. But then you can actually, but even though that quest involves the main female character, you don't actually have to do that particular quest in order to progress through the area. That's what I thought was really cool about the game. Like the first time I heard about the Stone Rocks or the Great Circle was like that side character, like that British explorer guy. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they could advance the story. I don't want to say in a non-linear fashion, but like, you could take certain paths and you could like you could get to the same place by doing different things. So
Right.
yeah, it's very deep.
And you played it on Xbox or PC?
Xbox Series X. You know,
Gotcha.
a
Yeah.
buddy of mine said that it ran on his 2070, but I didn't want to risk it with my 3070 because I wanted to be like Indiana Jones and blow all the dust off my Xbox Series X like
Yeah.
it was an artifact, you know,
Right.
and actually use it for something. So, yeah.
It was appropriate for that game. Well, I got to play more too because I did actually like it, John. But I know you're an Indiana Jones guy, John. So we do
I
look
am.
forward to your updates each week of where
Yes.
you are. It'll be
So there you
Egypt
go.
next week too.
I'm still in Egypt. I don't know. We never know.
All right, we'll find out. What else did you do?
So speaking of Xbox, Phil gave us a Sniper Elite Resistance
Yeah,
on Game Pass.
that's right. How is it?
And I mean, this series, I like that one with Hitler in the boat. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
that
one
was 4.
I remember the most. And I guess the hit on this game is that it's like the same game as Sniper Elite 5.
Yeah.
And you play as a guy that I guess was the co-op character. Like if you played co-op with your friend, you would play as this guy. Now this guy is the
Oh.
main character.
That's kind of
He's a
it's like a throwaway.
Is this the game where there's like X-rays of people's skulls
Yes.
exploding?
And there's
Yes.
bones
Yeah.
breaking
And-
up close.
which
Yep.
gets very old. I know there's a way
Yeah.
that you could tone that down or even turn it
You
off.
can turn it off.
I,
Yeah.
I have it on, but it does get old. But it kind of lets you know, okay, I
It
just
does sound. It sounds like the History Channel. Like the bullet
Yeah.
entered the Nazi's skull and it exited here,
right.
and then the MythBusters
Yeah.
like make a skull out of
Yeah,
gelatin.
it's definitely
and, you know.
MythBusters
Yeah.
going on.
But I played the beginning of the campaign. You know, it's very much like Hitman, where you basically just you have all these objectives. There's a million ways to do it. You could rush in, but you're gonna get punished if you do, or sit back. Like the opening level is actually kind of cool. It's this big fucking dam in like France or something, and all these Nazis are protecting it. There's flat guns on top, and the British are trying to bomb the dam, but they're failing because of the flat guns. So of course you got to take the flat guns out. But they're guarded by a bunch of Nazis, and you start out really far away, and you could just sit there and snipe all of them or all the ones you can see before you come in. But there's always some hiding somewhere.
The shooting always felt good though. Like at least
The
I'm coming
shooting
from
is
playing
decent.
4. It felt
It's
good.
a little
It was a fun
like they have windage
scenery.
and elevation stuff that you're supposed to account for. It's not like you don't have to like turn dials on your scope or anything, but it
Right.
just shows you that there's a windage and elevation problem going on right here. You can set your scope for how many yards. You zoom in with the breath feature, and then it'll kind of show you where your bullet's going to go, and then you you adjust there and put that crosshair in the guy's skull and take him out. The AI is kind of dumb. Like I was in a house, like completely in a house. Like I was so in a fucking house, and I'm looking around for loot and bullets and shit. And all of a sudden, I'm just getting shot through a window, and there's like some Nazi guy in like 8 foot of grass, like 50 yards away, that saw me through the window. Which I'm sorry,
Of course he saw you. He saw you go in.
But there was other dudes in there that I killed. How does he know who I was? I mean, it was just a silhouette. Let's be honest here.
He's got a zoom scope, John.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's very mid, this game.
Yeah, it's a good Game Pass get, or win it free from us. We're giving it away.
But here's the thing: I tried some of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And this might be where the game might shine. And I'm going to tell my friend Matt to install this.
Okay.
I tried a little bit of it. I tried Team Deathmatch, and they have something called No Cross. And it's very old school PC gamer, like PC gaming third-person shooter to me. Like something I would have played like around 2000. It just feels like that. It's a little jank. It's not quite right. The maps are kind of big. Like, it's unfair. Like, it's just like, but it's kind of, there's something cool about it. That they have this mode called like No Cross, where there's like a barrier between the two teams, like a river.
You can hide and camp. That's what you do in every
well,
game.
no,
So that's why
yeah, but everyone else is also hiding and camping, and right now they're a lot better than me at that. Because like if I like just look out a window, I'm dead like instantly. So they have like that, like this No Cross mode where it's only camping. You can't even get to the other team, like because they're on the other side of a river or something. And then there's like a team deathmatch mode. There's like a horde type mode. There's a team deathmatch free for all squad match. They have online co-op through the single player campaign. So I think this is where the game might redeem itself if I spend some time in these little things, which I think are kind of fun. Like Ben, have you ever played this series? You have a history with any of this stuff?
I have never played it.
It's on Game Pass. Dust off that
I'd say
Xbox.
play 4. If you're going to play 1, I thought 4 was the best.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know about
that
5.
was the most
Sniper
memorable.
Elite 4.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can get
is
it
that on
cheap.
Game Pass though?
Is it? Who knows? Do you live and die by Game Pass, Ben, or do you just go buy the
I had it
Game
for a
Pass?
couple years. I got like a super good price on it from a guy I know that works at Microsoft, but
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a while. Like I just bought Indiana Jones like using my own money.
I know. That's rare for Xbox people because Xbox people don't buy games. That's what we hear.
Well, yeah, Microsoft just wants to become the Netflix of gaming. That's
right.
obviously what their end goal is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had it for a couple of years. I thought it was fun. I would download stuff like, what was it? Like, well, I guess everyone hates him now, but that Justin Roiland game, Life is Strange, that was actually not that bad. That was on Game Pass. Remember that
They're
game?
getting a lot of good games coming up though, like Doom and Fable, hopefully. And
Well, yeah,
Valve
because they
thinking-
own Dune,
Yeah.
because they own Bethesda and id and
Yep.
all that, or
Yep.
ZeniMax.
So that's what I'm looking forward to most from like.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's
going
going to take them. It's going to take them a while to pay back that $70 billion they spent on Activision.
That's
Just
right.
like Disney,
Call of
they're going to have to
Duty's
make about 35 more Avatar movies to pay off Fox.
Well, John thinks they're gonna. He thinks they're in for the long game, and that Call of Duty is.
Well,
gonna
they're
pay
the big
bills.
winners over Christmas, I think, in sales with Call of Duty and Indiana Jones. So who knows? I mean, Call of Duty is who knows what the mobile money is for Call of Duty? That might be where all the money is.
Yeah. And
in
WoW
China.
subs.
That's a separate Call of Duty thing.
But it's still a
'cause
licensing
there's-
play, though. I mean, they're getting something from it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, because it's owned by Activision.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's something people don't really talk about very much. But yeah, Call of Duty mobile is definitely a thing.
Yeah, and I think in Asia that those games do very, very well. And I've been seeing a gazillion ads for Call of Duty Mobile like nonstop on like X and stuff. So
really?
I did play Call of Duty, by the way. There's a new season going on. I don't know, nothing to talk about.
The only way I'd heard of it was
Yeah.
when we had our show. Karen, her boyfriend, I think he worked at Raven. He worked on it. I think
Oh, really?
that was when I first heard about it. That's pretty much the only reason I know about it. I never see ads for it.
For COD Mobile?
John's a COD guy, so he
Correct.
knows
I am a
all
COD
about
guy.
COD. He
I
bought
play-
Slim Jims.
I still play Warzone. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Warzone's a lot of fun.
I used to be a big Battlefield guy, but I
Me
just
too.
kind of fell out of love. I freaking
Yeah.
loved Battlefield 1. That was just sublime.
Battlefield 4 and 1942 are my two favorites.
Oh man, that's old school. 1942.
Well,
that
then
was the first
GameSpy
one.
went down and we couldn't play anymore.
Oh yeah, GameSpy. Yeah. Man, whatever happened to them? Yeah, because remember, like you'd get something like Medal of Honor Allied Assault,
Yes.
and you would use GameSpy. That was like what 2002, I think. Yeah,
I think maybe even earlier. Like,
man, that was a halcyon age.
yeah, like Medal of Honor morphed into Call of Duty. Really, I mean, it was the same guys. Like they
Yeah,
left
yeah.
EA.
They just made a new license when they went to Activision.
Right.
Because originally it was EA. Yeah, you're right.
So so also I want to talk about again is Tokyo Extreme Racer. I love this game. There's the one thing, like I was all set to play this fucking shit on my Steam Deck, and there's no cloud save right now. So my progression from the PC did not travel over to the Steam Deck. But I guess they're supposed to release an update like in 2 days that's going to add cloud saving. So as soon as that's done, like I'm going to be playing that more on the Steam Deck or on the Steam Deck 2. But I unlocked a whole bunch of shit. Like the game's getting really interesting. There's actually like a story going on. Ben, do you have any history with this? Because this is an old school game, like from Dreamcast and shit, like Famicom even.
What's it called?
Tokyo Extreme Racer.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, John didn't really have a history with it either.
I had no
a little
history
bit of
with it.
history, but now he's in love with it. He's racing people out in the middle of the city in Tokyo, John. You're flashing your lights at people. You're killing
am.
mob bosses. So he's
So
doing
it's
it
just
now.
like Need for Speed Japan meets Yakuza, or what?
Yeah, it's a bunch of tuner cars. You're in downtown Tokyo racing on the highway, and it's offline. You're just playing against NPCs, but it's kind of like an RPG. There's like talent trees and skill trees. You're upgrading your cars. You basically have all these like NPC foes that are on the map that you're trying to beat, and there's rival gangs. You have to take down the whole gang by beating.
This
every
was on Dreamcast originally.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
PlayStation
It was on
and
everything.
Dreamcast.
Actually, I think the first one was on the Super Famicom. I don't even know what that looked like. So,
Mode
So it-
7.
so it's been around for. I wonder if it was Mode 7, but it's been. I always thought that was dumb. By the way, I never liked any of the Mode 7 games. Maybe except for Star Fox, but like F-Zero.
Star Fox wasn't a Mode 7 game. Star Fox was a Super FX chip game.
Oh, it was okay. Well, then F-Zero and Super Mario Kart did nothing
Those
for
were
me.
Mode 7.
Yeah. But Star Fox is badass.
Oh yeah, Star Fox is great. Star Fox is the best Star Wars game ever made.
It's funny. I think I like the GameCube one and the N64 one the best.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron? Now that is
Oh,
Star Wars.
you meant Star Fox.
Oh, I
wait.
did like
Yeah.
that Star Wars GameCube one, the Rogue Squadron.
That was what was that? That was Factor 5, right? Made
That
that.
was sick.
I was Star
Yeah, I
Wars
remember
Jedi
that
Knight Jedi Academy multiplayer was my thing. I think it was 360 days. Maybe it was Xbox days, but I played
Yeah.
tons of multiplayer in that game. I loved it. But I don't know. Star Wars Outlaws, if you're a Star Wars guy, Ben, did you like that one or did you get that it was kind of crappy?
I did not. So I think I'm starting to age out of the gaming thing.
Yeah.
Like I will buy maybe 2 games a year now.
Okay. Well, that's
So
okay.
no, I didn't play Star Wars Outlaws. I mean, I heard it
you
was a
didn't-
game, but
Yeah, you didn't miss much. It was a game. It was a game.
It was a game.
It was a game. All right, John. what
I
else
played.
did you do?
What was the one with the ginger guy who had a robot cat? On
Yeah,
his shoulder?
Jedi Survivor or Jedi Outcast
yeah,
or
that-
whatever. Which one?
What was the first one? I played that one. That was good.
Yeah, they were kind of cool.
I
They
think
were a
that was
little
on. I
harder,
think
more
I played that
soulsy.
on Game Pass.
There you go. So you're a Game Pass guy. That's all right.
I'm a Game Pass guy.
You're a Game Pass guy. You'll
I
be
thought
one
that.
of
I
them.
thought that game was good. I mean, it's basically
They were
Dark
well
Souls
done.
of Jedi's.
Yep,
but,
exactly. They were well done. All right, sorry, John. Didn't mean to talk over you. What were you?
No, it's fine.
doing?
I just want to say, Tokyo Extreme Racer is fucking fun as shit. It's
And
still
it's
in early
PC
access,
only right now, and
It's
people on
PC
PlayStation
only.
are mad.
and the game's opening up for me. Like I'm getting more of the story.
Yep.
There's all these characters in the game. There's all these rivals. I unlocked the parking garages, which are these little kind of oases that you can pull into. And there's guys in there that will temporarily tune your car. And then you can go out and like try to beat bosses when you have like this limited time with a better engine that you haven't
Wait,
unlocked
they
yet.
temporarily tune your car?
Yes,
so
they
there's a
do.
subscription service on
Wait a minute.
it, like the
What?
heated steering wheel.
So they give you so there's these parking garages with these dudes in there, and they kind of give you a taste of the higher level upgrades that you haven't unlocked yet, and just for a limited time. And so you give the guy like $15,000, and then you get like some engine upgrade for a finite amount of time. You go out there, you try to beat a couple bosses, and you go back, and then you could challenge dudes in the garage who are just hanging out, and then you're basically just creating this reputation as like this new badass racer who's taking everyone down in Tokyo. And it's just a different approach for racing games for me. instead of like the Forza fucking Horizon shit that I'm sick of. And, it's just, it's cool. It really is. And I actually had I had some guy, I forgot his name, give me all these tips and stuff on Twitter about it. He was all excited, like I think the people that are really, I think the guys that are into this game have been into it for a long time.
Oh, yeah. It's been around. It's cool. I'm glad you like it because I didn't even think you'd want to pick it up, but.
No, I think it's fun. I really wanted to play on my fucking Steam Deck, and I was all set to do it over the weekend, and I was so mad that the cloud save didn't work. So developers, if you do a game on Steam now, you have to have the cloud save shit. Because with the
Steam Deck, it was early access. Maybe that's why it doesn't have it.
I looked on Reddit, and people were saying that it's supposed to come February 6th, which is 2 days.
All right. What else did you do?
That's it. I'm drinking a Heineken Zero. And then, I guess, Ben, before we take a quick break here, well,
let's do Ben's 10 seconds, and then we'll take the break.
Okay.
But let's lean into it with a question here from Corbin. What is the greatest video game console or device ever made from a hardware standpoint? Was there one that was a technical marvel at the time? Does anything stand out to you as like that's kind of cool or impressive?
The most impressive console that I saw upon its launch, for me, was probably the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the biggest step up in graphics because you had all the muddy textures and like the crappy low res polygons of like the 32-bit era. And then you saw something like Soul Calibur, and it was like, my God, this really looks next gen.
Yeah.
There was other things about that console I didn't like, but I was very impressed when that launched. Like, I think that was the last time I was impressed.
That's the
what
only.
Happened?
I mean,
PlayStation 2 happened.
Yeah, I know. Because I pre-ordered that console at Best Buy. I remember it, and I canceled my pre-order.
$99.99.
I canceled my pre-order, and I don't know why. I don't remember the situation, but I just had cold feet for some reason.
Yeah, because you're a Nintendo guy, you hate Sega.
It could have been financial. I don't know, but I remember canceling it. I remember struggling with this, and eventually I got a Dreamcast later from CC Games. Thanks, Kevin. I bought one from him to undo this wrong. so I have one down here. But so you think the PlayStation just killed it and that was it, and Sega was done forever with consoles?
Yeah, PlayStation 2 nuked them from orbit. It was also a more powerful console.
And it
I think the
DVDs,
controller. I mean,
like
people love the controller, but I think it was probably a little too limiting. Although they actually used Hall effect sensors back then, which they should do now. Like they actually use Hall effect sensors on that analog stick.
Right.
So there's no way to get stick drift unless there's a huge electromagnetic flare from the sun, I guess.
But Switch 2 supposedly has Hall effects. I heard that's the rumor.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor as well. There's the only thing stopping companies from doing that is being cheap.
Right.
So we'll see if they do it. Also, when there was the chip shortage a few years back, things like Hall effect sensors were also unobtainium. Pretty much anything that would be used in a car, you or I couldn't get it because Ford would get it. So that's might have made companies a little bit gun shy about Hall effect sensors, but
right.
Something definitely happened with stick because I've been doing controller mods for decades, and
I said this too.
I would say around 2018, something definitely happened. Like maybe they're like, oh, if we save 3 micrometers of carbon on the potentiometer, that'll save us $5 over the course of a year.
It started for me
that's
with
probably what happened.
So my first Switch started drifting, and then my PS5 controller started drifting. And
all the sticks are made by the same company. They're all made by
I said
Alps.
this before on the show. I never had any stick in my whole life drift, and I've had every
Same
console
thing with
since
everything. Your washing
since
machines,
Pong.
your fridges, like they lasted 30 years and now they break after 5, like made to fail.
But
or
this
just worse
drifting
quality.
is
Right, but
new.
We're just talking about carbon put onto a piece of plastic. It's like the most common.
Right. How do you mess
element.
this up?
Yeah, and it's also like
Yeah.
it's carbon. It doesn't cost anything.
Right.
So how do they cheap out on that?
Are they trying to make things smaller, more compact? Is that why it's compromised? Like, what is it?
No, it hasn't changed in size. Just
Well, Joy-Con maybe.
These potentiometers they've been the same since the PlayStation 1. The N64 used an optical encoder. That was a little different, but yeah, like when I build my accessibility controllers for people, the number one reason people send them back for repair is a stick drift, and I've been doing that for 18 years now. Mm-hmm. And people sending them back because of stick drift is something that's only started happening like in the last 4 years.
Right.
So something definitely took a turn like around 2018, 2019.
The world
as far
went
as
to
like
shit.
the stick quality. Well, I'm sure I'm sure it was like we can save half a cent per controller
exactly.
times
Let's
a
do it.
million, and there you go. There's your bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Ben,
But
what
it's
games?
definitely real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I agree. It's well, like I said, I've owned everything since Pong, basically. So
You know?
why is it the last two consoles I've had this generation have stick drift? Switch and
Yeah,
PS5.
I got when I finally bought a place. Well, no, I'm sorry, the Series X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played Dark Souls for like 80 hours, and my stick failed, and it was a brand new stick, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this isn't even a year old.
It didn't drift though, because Xbox has been solid for me.
No, it drifted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you'd go into the map, and the map would drift upwards, or the cursor would drift. Yeah. Well, I did a dissection on it, and what I realized was, it was the copper. I'm sorry, not the copper. It was the carbon that fails, because there's basically a piece of metal that wipes back and forth on a piece of carbon to have a variable resistance, and for whatever reason, it kind of dug a trench. So
Right.
the carbon resistor failed.
Can't spray some deoxide in
So
there?
I'm sorry, it's not. No, well, you could try, but the thing is, it actually makes mechanical damage. So it's not a mechanical. It's not like the spring or the stick failed. It's the carbon on the carbon wiper potentiometers that failed. So you can
It
swap out
rubbed
those
off.
and
Yeah.
pretty much rubbed off. Yeah, rubbed through.
Gotcha.
But again, that didn't happen
We got to
until
fix
like a
this.
few
You're
years ago.
Microsoft. You're listening. Just
It's
spend the extra
Driftgate.
cent on carbon.
Driftgate, yeah.
Driftgate, that's right.
I think Switch had the worst problem of anyone with this shit. Like,
Yeah.
big time.
They want you to buy more Switch controllers. That's what I say. All right. Now, so other than Indiana Jones, Ben, what are you playing, or what are the go-to games that you do play? Because you mentioned kind of some of your go-tos.
Right. Well, right now I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone,
Okay.
Indiana Jones, and Balatro.
All
You
right.
playing Balatro?
Balatro,
Where are you playing
yeah.
I did. I also got that on my Xbox Series X.
that? Oh.
There you go.
I sit at a computer or stand at a computer all day for work. So anything I can play on my Xbox. I mean, I do Call of Duty Warzone on PC, but anything I can play on my couch, I like to do.
It's like a break for you. Yeah, no, Balatro was great. I played, John, I know you played too. We played on PC and mobile, I think.
Yeah.
And it won like Indie Game of the Year and stuff. So are you into poker at all, or is there something about this roguelike poker that got you?
I saw a bunch of YouTube videos about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
You
So
got sucked
it's
in.
only $15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fun game to play, and then
Yeah.
it's like I just have to remember that the videos you see on YouTube are like the rare case where someone actually gets all the all
Yep.
the right loot, so to speak.
Yep.
And
They got all the
most of the
jokers
time
lined
it's
up.
not. Most of the time it's not going to be like that.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, but no, it's
All right.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
happy
like
if I can get to if I can finish Ante 8. That's enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a question from Zoltan. What are Ben's thoughts on the Switch 2 regarding NVIDIA DLSS, if he thinks that the power comparisons people are making to the PS4 for the Switch 2 are accurate? Now, I don't know if you even know what those are. I don't offhand, John, but maybe you do. People are saying Switch 2 is probably going to be as powerful as a PS4. And then people are
PS4
wondering,
Pro, I heard.
yeah, is it going to have NVIDIA DLSS? I think we think it would have to if it's got the NVIDIA
I thought
chip
that was
this
confirmed
time.
to have that.
Okay.
I mean,
good.
if NVIDIA's involved, so I don't see how it doesn't. That's all they
Right.
talk about
But
now.
the power
Well, yeah,
wise, I don't know. It's a small device, PS5 Pro power in the Switch.
What do you think?
These AI video cards that we have now, they consume a ton of power. I
Yes.
mean, Microsoft is donating money to fire back up 3 Mile Island
Mhm.
power AI. AI sucks
Yep.
tons of juice.
Yep.
Oh gosh. I had heard that it was going to be comparable to like a 3000 series and it would have DLSS, which means, but that's the thing though. Like DLSS uses AI for basically frame construction, so you can render fewer frames and basically create a higher frame rate by interpolating them with AI. I don't. Well, the thing is, since they basically just made a souped up Switch,
Mm-hmm.
their target is probably going to be portable, and the thing is, the power consumption is probably going to be quite a bit different. So even if the hardware's capable, they might have to kind of undercrank it just because they
Yeah.
want to actually have a good battery life. Because even like the Switch itself, like if you compare that to something like, I know it's a completely different ball of worms, but like, what is it, like 4 hours for a Switch?
The
And if
battery
you compare
life?
that, isn't that what it was? Like
Something
mine's
like
always
that.
docked.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you compare that to like one of the newer like MacBook M laptops. Like 4 hours isn't really super impressive in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
So they're not going to.
But it's also a fraction of the cost and size too, right? So,
well, yeah, and it doesn't have like this super mega, M chip on it. I'm just saying they're not going to risk worse battery power for performance.
right?
Yeah.
As far as being
Well, which we've talked about because basically it's supposed to get a 20-30% boost when it's docked, and that's not because of it. That's only because of battery consumption.
because
The
they can
power.
consume more power. Yeah,
Because they don't
Maybe
need to worry about
DLSS
the
kicks
battery.
in when it's docked because it gets more power.
Well, that's when they're going to really. Well, and also.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be limited to like 30
that's
frames
it.
a second.
That's
Yeah.
it, Michelle.
Portable
That's it.
Wait, wait.
DLSS docked.
Because they need the DLSS when it's docked because of the
Yeah.
4K TV.
That's
in
a very good theory.
But in
Yeah.
handheld mode, they don't need it so much because the screen's so small.
Right. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
they
could
might
be it.
have the frame rate as well, possibly.
But if it's as powerful as a 30 series, I would be shocked because I don't know. I've got a 3080 in the house, a 4090 in the house. I'm looking at the 50 series, but they're bricking right now with new updates. Like I don't even want to touch them right now.
Didn't Digital Foundry say that it was supposed to be like a 3000 series based off what they saw with the NVIDIA die?
If they pull that off, so a 3000 series. Well, which 3000 series? It's not going to be my old 3080. But and Johnny,
Well,
saw
the
the
thing is-
3080.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless if it's a 3000 series, that means it would have, or in theory, have DLSS.
It's going to
Because
have
that's-
DLSS 3 without frame gen.
Oh, without frame gen.
Yeah, see, DLSS frame gen's only in DLSS 4. You can roll it back to DLSS 3, but you don't get the frame gen, as far as I know, in the 30 series. Like John, you can turn on DLSS 4, or 3 or whatever. I think it's 4 for you now, but you can't get the frame gen with it. I think that's how it works. Like they'll always roll it back, but they take out something. And then DLSS 4, the new one with the 50 series, they're probably going to roll back to the 40 series. But
But this
not gonna
chip
be the
is
other
going to
new
be
frame gen.
some proprietary thing just for Nintendo, though, right? Like it's some fork
but
off
I think
of
like Ben
these
is
other
saying,
chips.
they've got to worry about that power, the battery life. Nintendo's not going to care about here's 60 frames. Look at the graphics.
No.
That's never been their thing. It's going to be look at
Right.
this. You know,
But if it's a
So-
1080p or screen on the device,
is it going to be 1080p screen? It's usually less, right?
I mean, is there really a point to have a 1080p screen that size? Well, the screen, the unit's a lot bigger too. That's something else you need to think
Right.
about. It, like
Well,
that
don't
video
ask
where they
me.
showed the
I
Joy-Cons
what's
growing.
this? What's the current screen resolution of the OLED? It's 720.
It's 720.
What is the
Yeah.
Steam Deck OLED? Is it also 720?
I don't know.
I think so. I mean, look, I've got a phone.
That does
that's
seem kind
higher
of low
than
because
that,
you
so
think
don't
about
ask
most
me.
phones are like 4K
Yeah,
these days.
exactly.
All right, so Steam Deck,
Unless you
the
have an
Steam Deck
iPhone, their
is
PPI
is
is lower.
1280 by 800, so it's 16 by 10, right?
Okay.
Or 16 by 9.5 or something.
Hold squat in the chat.
But you know what
says more
takes up the
interest-
most of your energy on your
What's
on your
that?
cell phone? The screen. That's what takes all the
Yeah,
energy.
I know the brightness.
Right.
You put that
The
brightness
white
up, and you're really
dots.
cooking too. So Hold Squat in the chat says he's more interested in what else they're going to do with the Switch, like the top USB-C port. Is that just another way to? So it's not awkward to charge or something or dock or.
Well, it's not awkward to plug things into it when it's
No,
done.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably use that for like thumbsticks or something. I don't know. Or
Okay, I know why you'd want to do that though, because like, okay, so when I do deck mode, and by the way, Ben,
don't
when I do
even-
deck mode
Deck
is when I
mode?
play outside on my
He
deck.
needs a laptop. He plays his Switch
Okay.
propped up on a Cheez-It box with a
Okay,
controller
all right.
and uses it as a
you mean
screen.
like in that original commercial, like with the lady on the roof?
I
right?
invented deck
rooftop
mode.
parties.
I am deck mode. Don't
Okay.
question it. Okay,
All right.
so when I use the kickstand, I'm on my patio table. I can't charge the device because the USB's on the bottom. Okay.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
That's what
so,
it could be.
Because
Well, you know what? At the very least, it'll be like, you know, when they had the MacBooks that were all USB-C everywhere,
Right.
and any one of the ports could charge it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're better. You're better at predicting this than I am. Why am I even here?
He calls himself John. Well, because you actually know what you're doing. He calls himself John Stradamus. Okay, so he believes in himself. He has this.
John
Michelle,
Stradamus.
Michelle calls me John Dumbass. So just so
I
we're
do
clear.
because every time we do predictions, I'm usually right. But no, you're good with hardware stuff, John. You are, and I think you're a Nintendo guy, and you know the faults and what you'd like to see improved.
Well, I've been on plane because even on a plane, if I have a
Yeah.
tray table, I use the kickstand, and I can't charge the device with the
Now
kickstand.
wait a minute. El Backup
Yeah.
Paco says maybe you connect an official Nintendo keyboard to go with the new Joy-Con mouse. I don't know
Well,
if you saw that, Ben. Because
yeah, the
looks like
Joy-Cons
Joy-Con
have
might be a mouse
infrared.
pointer.
If I don't know if you're aware, Ben, you probably are. The Joy-Cons have an infrared sensor on the spine of them, so that you can
Oh,
put it.
so you can use it like a mouse or something?
Yes.
Yeah. With all those Steam indies going to the Switch store, that might be useful. But yeah.
So
then you
my
need the
prediction
keyboard.
my prediction there is Mario Paint. That's the first game they're
Okay,
going to
John
make.
Stradamus is talking. Oh, yeah,
There you
Mario
go.
Paint.
Mar-
All
you
right,
know,
he's-
Mario
That's
Paint.
actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, I had.
You know what it probably is? It probably cost Nintendo half a cent
Yeah.
to put a mouse sensor in there, so they're like, why not?
Why not? Maybe there'll be
Yeah.
a Mario game where he can.
Well, I mean, I still have my Mario Paint mouse and plastic mouse pad, so
you're
why-
ready.
Well, I'm saying
ready to go.
there's precedent here, so
All right.
do it again.
Well, what are you drinking, Ben? Anything fun? Do you drinking during the show? Water, beer, soda?
Really boring. It's a Miller High Life.
That's all right. It's
Nothing
better
wrong
than
with
my
that.
water. That's all right.
Now,
All
when
right,
I
well-
was back home in Illinois over Thanksgiving, they had Miller High Life Light, which I've never seen before, and it wasn't bad. Have you tried that?
Yeah, I'm not really into light beer.
But I can't get that here, and if I,
I toured
could,
the
I would.
Miller factory in Wisconsin. I don't know.
Oh,
I think
cool.
we went and had pretzels after. That's what I cared about because I'm
That's
not really
the German
like,
thing to do.
Yeah,
Oh, very
it was like-
German, yes.
Yeah, it was like you guys drink the beer, I'll eat the pretzels. I was happy, but no. Miller
Nice.
was pretty cool though. Everybody there was super friendly. I always say that about Wisconsin, Ben. I'm like it's like the people and they are the nicest people I've ever met in any state. And so yeah, Miller. Check it out, guys. All right, so let's talk about this rumor here because I think Ben's a good guy to see what he thinks. Valve is building a Steam
boy.
console to rival PS5 and Xbox, the rumor claims. Now, Ben, you said you like getting out of your PC. I'm a PC person, but I get it. You like getting to the couch. Would you want to get on that couch and get to a Steam machine in the living room or a Valve box in the living room? And what do you think about these rumors? Do you think that I feel like people are getting out of the living room, but
Well, I mean, they already. I mean, what was it? The Steam box. They already tried that like 10 years ago.
But that was streaming.
was
Now-
it too
now-
early? Too
No,
soon?
it wasn't. It wasn't streaming. There were dedicated Steam boxes. You're thinking of the Steam Link.
I am,
Steam
yeah.
Link,
I
yeah.
totally am. Now,
I had
Ben,
one
this
of
is actually a good question for you because I saw, and I've said this on the show a bunch of times. Why not release a Steam Deck without the fucking screen and controllers? And someone did that. This is right up your alley. They took a Steam Deck and ripped everything off of it and put it in a little tiny box and just plug it in
Well, I have a mini
HDMI.
PC, which is basically kind of like
Right.
that. I've got one of the minis for
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be a lot cheaper to make something that was larger than a Steam Deck because really all that is
Yep.
just an AMD system on a chip. I don't know. I mean, I guess they could. It just seems like they've already tried that in the past.
Right.
I mean, but the Steam Deck is pretty successful though, right?
It is, and I'm like, why
It
would they get
seems-
away from that? They're going to work on the second one of that, I think, before they go back to the living room.
Because they already have the
focus more
hardware.
on the dock.
Just
Unless
put
they're
it in a
like living
fucking
room
box.
dock.
I mean, I would, I would say devil's advocate. Why doesn't Nintendo do that? Like, why can't they just make?
That's a
an
good
extra
point,
know.
right?
without portable features? Because
Yeah,
all that
I-
shit they put in there, like the connectors and the mouse thing and blah blah blah, that all costs money.
Yep.
If it was just like a chip, it would be. I wouldn't say it would be cheaper. Well, actually, it would be cheaper, but
Put it,
it's-
yeah.
I think it's because people 25 and under don't like to sit and look at the screen TV. They're all like on their phones or a handheld device while like something else is going on.
yeah,
Pe-
they don't even own TVs anymore.
I mean,
Exactly.
anecdotally, I agree with that. Based on what I see with my daughters, I gave
Yeah.
my daughter my old Steam Deck, and I said, "Do you want a dock for it?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah, they don't want to look at the television. It's old, it's antiquated.
She didn't want
I'm
that.
Like, big
Like-
65-inch OLED. They don't want that. So I think maybe we're moving into handheld. I think handheld killed VR. I think handheld is killing consoles. It's killing the living room. And I think the dock is the best we're going to get. But who's going to take advantage of that dock, which is really more power? And if DLSS kicks in when it's docked, I think that's that, like we're saying with the Switch. Why don't they just do it?
Ben
but they're never
said
going to go
something I
back.
never thought of is that they need way more power for the fucking
Yeah.
AI,
Yeah.
yeah.
which kind of shoots the. But
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
they have
Unless it's
FSR? But there's upscaling on the handheld on Steam Deck though. The AMD shit, isn't there?
Yeah, but like,
It's not a AI chipset per se on the Steam Deck.
Right.
yeah, it's just a different, like the technology is there to, with the frames or whatever, but it's not like the new 50 series where they're saying it's an AI thing. And like, that's not going to just show up on the Switch, I don't think, but even docked. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see a Steam presence.
So FSR
more,
is
but-
just like a, like a dumb upscaling type thing. Is that all it is?
Pretty much. I think like there's actually a little tool on Steam called Lossless. Have you tried it? Like, what's the name of it? It's like, it actually works with FSR. Lossless scaling. It's a little, I've been meaning to try. It's a little $7 app, all-in-one gaming utility for scaling and frame generation. And it's really interesting because people who have tried it, and we have a lot in our community, say it helps like FSR Steam Deck a lot because it just runs alongside with games. And it generates additional frames in games that don't have support.
And you just set the game to like 320 by 240.
There was an update on it where like the input
upscale
latency is down and all that now too. So I mentioned lossless scaling before, not to get too technical, but we got Ben on, so it's probably going to be a hardware or technical minded show. Hopefully people listening, but like check out lossless scaling on Steam because this is kind of a tool that I think if you have a Steam Deck, you want to mess around with. All right, other news going on, John. What did you see?
I want to
out
ask
there?
Ben though, like going back to the Xbox handheld and the PS5 handheld.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah,
Because like again, Sony is supposedly making a handheld that will play PS5 games locally.
Power is going to hold everybody back.
powered
right?
in the handheld.
Yes. Well, they already have their stupid streaming handheld. So, how hard is that? Do you think?
It doesn't seem possible, to be quite honest. I mean, if you think about like the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, they're roughly equivalent to like a 3000 series NVIDIA, although they're AMD, but it's around that technology. It's like around 2020 technology. So they both have AI, they both have like upscaling and frame generation and all that jazz. But I think that the real Achilles heel would be the fact that they're both x86 or technically x64. Like that's one of the magical things about the the Switch is that it's an ARM CPU, which takes way less power than an x86. And you were talking about the Steam Deck earlier being like its own console. Steam Deck is also x86, even though it's running Linux. So if you had that as a dedicated console where you weren't trying to make it portable, then yeah, the fact that it has an Achilles heel as far as power is concerned, the x86 wouldn't be that big of a deal if it was, a powered console device. But yeah, I don't know, unless they did something like radical, like Macintosh, like with their M1 chips, where they're basically like doing like real-time x86 emulation on a very high-powered ARM device.
Like the Rosetta stuff? Is that what that is, right? The Rosetta?
Well, yeah, it's like Rosetta version 2, because the original Rosetta was when they did real-time translation from the PowerPC Macs to the Intel Macs, like around the late 2000s. But then they use a newer version of Rosetta where they take the software written for the Pentium, the Intel Macs. Yeah, and then they are able to run it in real time on the M series, which are technically their ARM chips, which is a completely different architecture. Because x86 is, it's freaking ancient, and it's got all these instructions that you may or may not need, whereas ARM, which is Advanced Reduced Instruction Set Computer Machine, it uses far less power because it's simplified in a way. And so that's your Switch. Switch is ARM. The Vita was ARM. But I don't know. I think unless you switch to ARM, I don't think you're necessarily going to have enough of an advantage to actually make something handheld.
No,
I guess you've got... Yeah, Switch 2 will be ARM.
This is NVIDIA's first consumer-facing ARM processor since X1. That's the rumor. I don't know if they've confirmed the CPU on it, John. Have they?
Is it like an APU, Ben?
It says
NVIDIA would be providing?
it would be. Yes, it would be a video chip combined with the CPU, which is what they did the first time. The one they used on the Switch 1 was an already existing product. I think it was X1, like you said, right? It was like... So it was a year or two old even when the Switch came out. So it sounds like this one's going to be something custom for the Switch 2, but it's just going to be, it'll be an evolution of that. But I guess as far as the question is, how far will the graphics go? Like when you had like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, like the graphics on those weren't actually even really that advanced for when they came out. They were like super glorified cell phone graphics. So I think having parity with those consoles will be easily achievable for the Switch 2. It might not be as advanced as people are hoping. And the bottleneck will always be battery life. Because, even if you have a CPU that is ARM, you're still going to have these NVIDIA graphics, especially if you have this modern stuff where it's... the power might be there, but they might have to like throttle it or not take it to its full
Right.
potential because it will take up too much power.
Why we
But
all
yeah,
have
maybe a
1200
docked
watt
mode, it will-
PSUs in our computers, guys. Like you aren't going to get that in your handheld.
So Ben,
Well,
let me ask
your computer isn't using 1200 watts, but yes.
so Ben, let me ask you a question. So
the 50 series recommends like 1000 watt or something, but if you have a bunch of other stuff going on, like people are saying you should get 1200 to buff, like as a buffer. Like, so I don't know.
Well,
what
yes,
typically
because
means.
that's the total system load.
Okay.
But
The card itself is like 500 or something.
Well, that's quite a bit. You're talking about like the 50 series?
The new 50 series. Yeah, I
don't
was
they
looking
want like
at the
600 watts or
5090.
something
Yeah,
just for that
I'm like,
card?
oh, this is I may have to-
Ben, let me ask you a question though. So
Yeah.
could PlayStation
Because modern CPUs actually have really good thermal TPUs. Like I have like I don't know, it's like a Ryzen 7.
the AMDs
I want to
do.
say that, like like this my CPU. I just built this computer like 5 months ago. Like I want to say the CPU is like not even 100 watts.
Yeah.
So that's actually gotten a lot better. Whereas
Good.
video cards are like you had the thing with the 4000 series, like where the connectors were burning up because like you're putting shitloads of amps through all these wires. It's like it's kind of an insane amount of power that you're using.
Yeah.
So Ben, I was going to ask you though, like if Sony made a PS5 that could play games locally, couldn't they make it underpowered and just gimp the software and low res it and
Or GIMP the graphics.
turn everything down? It doesn't matter. It's on a 7-inch screen. Like, isn't that a way to get around this?
Yeah, but you're talking about an 8-core x86 processor with integrated graphics. I don't know how efficient that would. Like does the Steam Deck have 8 cores? Like,
I don't know.
Actually, I don't know what does it have. Ask AI Google; it would probably know.
4-core with 8 threads.
Yeah, it's a 4-core with 8 threads. It's part of the Ryzen custom lineup, and it uses the Zen 2 architecture.
Yeah, and they said
Okay,
they
and
want to
so-
wait for a big leap before they do Steam Deck 2.
Well, yeah, because they probably need more. They need a more efficient processor.
When's the big leap then, Ben? Like, I mean, are you one of the Moore's Law
Well,
dead
they're
guys?
the big
or-
leaps are becoming slower and slower because
Yeah.
we're reaching the limits of lithographic process.
Yeah.
I mean, we're down to like what 5 nanometer, and like the
Yeah.
smaller it gets, the slower it gets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see a lot of like quad cores and like, oh, I'm going to put 8 cores in one. Is because the actual lithographic density of the transistors isn't increasing as fast as we would need it to. 'Cause,
Right.
Yeah, it's Moore's law died a long
Right.
time
So we're
ago.
making up for it instead of different with either different materials or AI, I guess, is with the power. It's where we're coming to fill the gaps and we'll never get that much power in handheld.
not necessarily with the power, but like with the way they design the system and like where they do
Okay.
things like branch prediction. So, but there's definitely you hear about things like quantum computing, but
Mm-hmm.
we are kind of. I mean, they'll probably keep stretching it, but yeah, it's almost seems like it's inverse Moore's law now, where
Yeah.
like it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more research to get past like 5 nanometers. It's just starting to slow down. So yeah, that might be what they're talking about at Valve, but that's why so many things go to ARM because
Right.
you have the same technology, but you have a CPU architecture that's just more efficient.
Right. I mean, obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about with that, but like I listened to an interesting podcast, John. I think you did too with John.
Well, that's okay.
Carmack,
I
and they were
barely
talking
do.
about it.
I just know enough to sound smart.
Yeah, I mean, I can build a computer, but I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, like John Carmack was talking about this on like I think it was maybe Lex Friedman's podcast a couple of years ago, and he was talking about like Moore's law and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, yeah, where are we going to go? Because the leaps don't seem to be as big as they were. But then you say AI is doing some interesting things with that's what NVIDIA is selling us right now. But if it's ARM, I mean, it's going to be an NVIDIA ARM chip on Switch 2. So I agree with you that it's probably not going to be some like huge leap like that people are expecting with this Switch 2. Like it's probably going to look pretty similar to what
they said
have
it's
right
like
now.
A 30x leap, or what was the numbers
How
again?
though? Like I guess maybe with the games it can play, but the Nintendo games are never going to be like, I don't know.
I'm sure it'll look similar to last gen.
Okay. Like PS4. That's what I'm
PS4.
thinking. PS4, not
But
PS5.
Well, yeah, because
on a tiny screen,
I-
that's going to look amazing. Honestly, if you
yeah,
don't,
I'm sure it'll be fine for that. I just wish Nintendo would just make a modern gen console because why not?
I agree. I'm with you there.
too late.
But I've that's why I emulate because like the games don't look good. I had to get rid of my Switch for the second time, John. I told you because the Switch store you couldn't even navigate it. It would crash. It was slow,
It's
and
slower
they're being
than
held
shit.
back
Oh,
by
it's
this
so
old,
bad. Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
is
like-
it fucking slow? It doesn't make any sense. Like
It's
it
an
can
old
run
device.
like.
I
I know, but it can run like a
Why does
3D
Nintendo
game.
charge $60 for 5-year-old games? That doesn't make sense
exactly.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm over
I just
it.
bought
So, like,
Donkey Kong Country HD and I regret it. It was
I
like
know.
fucking 60
That's why I
bucks.
like the GameCube. I don't care. I have no shame. I liked my GameCube. It was like they were competing and they were in the living room. They had, kind of good graphics for them at the time. But I think those days are gone. I think handheld is where it's at. I think everybody's going there, including Microsoft, including Sony.
But Nintendo
so-
was the leader on that. Nintendo with
Sure.
the Wii caused all the fucking
They
stupidity
definitely
we had
did. But
with
people
the
are taking it
360
and running.
and
Handheld
Xbox One
PCs
generation.
are flying off the shelves, John. They're taking over Japan. So Nintendo's got to
I
stay
just
with
don't
it.
see how we are going to get a portable PlayStation 5. It just seems
Yeah, I don't think so.
unlikely.
I agree. I think PS4 is.
But if you gimp the
the
games, isn't that how you do it? You just turn everything down and you have presets?
At that point, it would be a port then. So it's like you're backporting it.
I mean, there's games now that Dynasty Warriors had a Steam Deck setting. So Sony could just bake that into their game, right? Oh, it's the portable.
I didn't realize that Sony and Nintendo were both. I'm sorry, Sony and Microsoft were both trying to make portables.
Well, Xbox is kind
These
of
are
confirmed.
rumors.
Sony is more.
like-
Yeah.
Xbox is kind of confirmed, John. Phil just
I
talked
mean, it's
about it
like-
again
Why? I guess would be my question.
Because
It's
Steam
like-
Deck?
because Steam Deck, Switch, all the handheld PCs, they're looking at. People want to play
Right,
their
but
games
they're
everywhere.
not. They're not going to beat. They're not going to beat the Switch. So
But here's the
No,
thing. Steam
but-
Deck
why not
is
just burn your money?
So this is my theory on this. Valve is basically making their Steam OS available to PC builders. Okay.
Oh, so it's to like hit dicks with Steam because Steam hates.
Well,
Windows.
Microsoft is threatened by this. Okay. So if gaming PCs don't have Windows on it, that's a problem for Microsoft. Or even gaming handhelds.
Yeah, there has been like this. It's kind of well, maybe it's not ironic. Gabe Newell used to work at Microsoft. Like he made his money at Microsoft before he even started Valve, and now he hates them for some reason. But yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, it probably is. Like, I mean, I think about that. Like with Microsoft, like I think their long-term strategy is like to just completely get off hardware entirely.
They're a software company. They've always been.
Yeah, I could see Windows becoming like a web app. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And Windows will definitely go to ARM. I would say. Well, I mean, there already is an ARM version, but that's not too far off in the future. I mean, the thing is, like, whatever you or I, the three of us, come up as far as like postulations, like these companies have spent millions or billions in research 10 years ago thinking about this stuff, so they've already made these decisions. So really, all we can do is speculate.
They may be
But
bad
I don't
ones
know.
though, like the living room controller that Phil tried to push on everybody that nobody wanted, right? And like,
God.
but a lot of the times things are coming too soon or at the wrong time. I think in this landscape, Microsoft sort of shifted their philosophy from saying we're going to be maybe Game Pass to let's put our games everywhere, which is what they're doing. They're putting their games on every system. Exclusives are dead. And I think in the end, they are in a good position. John, I know in the past, we've said Xbox is dead. They're never going to recover. But it's what is an Xbox? Xbox console in the living room is dead. But like you're saying, Ben, they want out of that. That may be dead. But Microsoft is putting Windows on handheld things. They're putting their games everywhere. Xbox is changing. It's every screen. It's your fridge. It's what your garbage can. It's everything. So I think
Yeah,
they're
I
in a
think
good position.
if we see Game Pass on Switch 2 and they find a way to
Oh,
port
boy.
games over to it, that's when you'll really know that something has changed. Definitely.
Well, the rumor is Microsoft's putting Halo and other games on the Switch too.
Yeah,
Because
why not?
Microsoft
And Call of Duty.
Microsoft has had a hard on for decades to get into Japan, but it's completely
Yep.
impregnable for them.
Yep.
That was probably overly sexual, but so doing
perfect
something
for
with
Japan.
Nintendo, and I'm sure I would bet my left arm that Nintendo or Microsoft has tried to buy Nintendo in the past. Or at
They
least
have, I
explored it.
think. They said they wouldn't even answer them. I think they talked about that. Yeah.
I mean, why not? Like, I mean, there was a time they could have probably had Nintendo for like $40 billion, which is like couch change money for Microsoft. But
Right.
But yeah, that doesn't mean. But Nintendo doesn't have to sell. Yeah, so I maybe like this is like their capitulation or their Trojan horse.
Yeah.
to like get this stuff out there. But I mean, I think the inverse with Nintendo, it's like, it's too bad. Like, why can't they make a next gen console? Because people are still going to buy it for all the Nintendo games. But then I'm sure publishers would be more than happy. Like, oh, look, we can port our latest Assassin's Creed or whatever modern game to it, and not have it be like the Switch, where it's like a demo scene. Like, can we get our game to run on the Switch? It would just be like, hey, our game will run on the Nintendo hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So you think this is all a portable push, huh? Like all of this?
That's what they claim is a portable push. No, I think their direction is play your Xbox games anywhere. We're going to put them everywhere. Play them on your PC,
and they're
your
going to have a
handheld,
device
your living room, your PlayStation.
that allows
So that's Game Pass. Game Pass is Netflix.
Exactly. Your one login
which
and
is
Game
the
Pass
future.
play everywhere.
I'm sorry, it just is.
I don't think
like,
it is. I mean,
it's coming.
Well, OG Punkwin says someone needs to tell Sony and Nintendo that exclusives are dead. I agree, but they're still doing better than Microsoft, and I don't know.
So let me ask you this question. So former Sony executive Sean Layden, I guess, came out this week saying...
He's always saying fun stuff.
I know. But he thinks, going back to Dreamcast and Sega and all that Microsoft is in a position to be the next multi-platform powerhouse like Sega is now, after they got out of hardware.
Yeah.
But is Sega a multi-platform powerhouse? I guess they are. Are they?
I don't know.
Did that work out really? I don't know.
About powerhouse.
Yeah, that's a bit much, but
I mean, how many? Well, they do make like a Yazuka game like every 3 months.
Yes,
Xbox
they do.
should be freed from their hardware. They should be, because their games. They bought all these companies that make games. They want to put their games everywhere.
Yeah, but do anyone really care about these games anymore? Like, but the thing is, you're talking about like exclusives. Like, this has been like the lamest console generation ever. Like,
I agree. Why do you think I have a PC and haven't picked up these consoles for their exclusives? Because they come to PC anyway.
Yeah, there's not even that many next gen only games. Like, still, like 5 years in or 4 years in.
Right. They're still
It's
making
like
the PS4 version every time.
Yeah, and it's like, why do we even need? I think there's like what 20.
Yeah.
Next gen only PlayStation 5 games is kind of ridiculous. Like how few there are, and I don't know. Well, I'm sure part of that was like the chip shortage or console shortages, but it's been a really disappointing console generation. So, I mean, if there was a time to shake something up, this would be it. But I guess people have just decided that they don't like the Xbox anymore. And I guess they want the PlayStation 5 so they can play its tiny selection of exclusive games.
I don't know. I call them sad dad games, but no, I mean, PlayStation does have some like solid exclusives, like Astrobot that John just played, which was like game of the year to him, but that was like a Nintendo play almost. People said it was like a Mario game.
Game of the year to everyone.
Yeah,
or
game of the year. So I mean, there's still some exclusives.
That was the game of the year, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think like Microsoft putting their games everywhere is a good thing, though. I don't think they should be limited by the living room, by the hardware.
But why does it make everyone so mad? Because I don't see
I don't know why.
Where the angst comes from. I think it's good for everybody. Like, there's more...
The angst about what?
Well, all these
mad.
Xbox fanboys get really mad, or have gotten really mad.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of Sears fans that got mad when they went out of business.
That's true.
I miss
Caldor
Kmart, by the
Brothers.
way.
I know. They're mad that Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation or Forza
Circuit
is going
City.
to PlayStation.
I miss that
Why
too.
are they mad? Who gives a shit?
I don't know, because they have that like
How
5-year-old
dare
kid
you-
mentality where they could only own one. You don't
Yeah.
have to own one. You're an adult. Go buy the other one if you want it. And
I mean,
people-
Indiana Jones is a fantastic game. I'm glad that more people get to play it.
yeah, right. And it's good for
It's-
Xbox
yeah.
if you do care
And it's
about Xbox
really
and
good.
Microsoft.
It's really great for multiplayer games. So, like, if Halo goes to PlayStation, that game's going to get a second life for everybody involved. All the players.
Is
right?
PlayStation is open to like cross-play though? Like Nintendo and PlayStation.
They are.
Well,
No,
a lot of consoles are cross-play.
Well,
Okay.
Fortnite, we talked about that. I think Fortnite got around that.
Oh,
So I
with,
think
like,
it's
an
okay
Epic
now.
login? Okay.
Yeah, with the Epic bug that they pushed out at night that allowed...
Yeah, we were playing Warzone last week with me and an IRL friend of mine and some online friends, and I was looking at the browser or whatever the lobby is, and we had like 2 PC players, which is me and my IRL friend. Then we had like an Xbox Series X player, and then the other guy was either PlayStation or Xbox PC Game Pass or some weird shit like that. But it just worked. So yeah, maybe it's going more to that in the future.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
People want to be able to play with everybody everywhere, and people have multiple devices. But the mobile thing has put a poison in the well, I think, too, because you've got Chinese gotcha games that are like PC mobile crossplay, and those are the biggest things ever. And I think it sets that precedent that like crossplay is you better do it because they're doing it, and mobile is the most used device, most owned device. I think especially for younger people. And I think the mobile thing puts the pressure on the handheld thing too. And I don't know. I just think the landscape of the living
mobile
room
is also
changing.
a huge thing in like developing nations. People don't have consoles or computers,
true.
but they have cell phones. So
Yep. So it's the
that's,
biggest market.
the next
people,
billion user kind of thing,
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about Battlefield earlier.
Yes.
And
Briefly,
so EA released a kind of sizzle trailer kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
For the next Battlefield game that featured some of the developers and stuff. And they showed some gameplay. It looks like Battlefield. Huge
8 seconds. It was amazing.
Yeah, huge destructive environments, modern
because
setting.
they almost went backwards with the last one. It wasn't as good as the one before, right? Things weren't
No,
as
it wasn't. I mean, the
destructible.
last one, listen, I consider myself a Battlefield person as much as a Call of Duty person, but Battlefield 4 is the last one I truly was into.
Yeah.
And everything after that, it just
Did
didn't
you have
capture
faith
me.
they're going to renew it with the 8 seconds you saw?
I don't. I mean, I think they know that there's pressure on them. They did release something called Battlefield Labs, which I signed up for, and this is
Pressure is in. If this one doesn't work, you're
done.
closed.
Yep.
Well, I mean, listen, the community really shit on the last Battlefield like within 2 days. Like
Yeah, because
it was
they
like
went
That
backwards.
was like the 2042, right?
yes, and it was like literally within 24 hours, people were shitting on it. Like the internet turned on it like
How
instantly.
long do you need with the game before you know it's not good? It's 24 hours not
Well,
enough, John?
and then they supposedly
Yeah.
redeemed themselves, but nobody went back, including myself.
And it's weird, like how everyone loves Battlefield 4. Like they say it's like the greatest thing ever. That game launched in a disaster.
I know it did. I
state.
lived it, and I
Yeah, I mean, I did too. I bought it on day one, and it was unplayable.
It really was. And, I mean, listen, I love the helicopters and the vehicles so much in Battlefield and the big skyscrapers like that Shanghai Met I told you, Michelle, the other day. So if they can recapture that magic, I think they know this. But the point is, if you're interested, sign up for Battlefield Labs. I did. If you get selected, you can. Right now, this game is in pre-alpha. And they're saying, EA is saying it's going to release by March of 2026.
Oh, boy.
So here's the question, too, though. Let's say that they do get some momentum with this game. Are they going to be able to keep up with Call of Duty? I think this is probably what killed this game. Because Call of Duty had like 3-4 studios
Everybody
making
wants
these.
Nicki Minaj shitting fireworks
No,
out of
but
her ass
here's
with
the thing.
skins. I'm over
No,
it. I'm like, I don't
but
want to see it.
Activision-
I'll play Battlefield. Will everybody? I don't know.
Michelle, though, Activision had like 3 studios working on Call of Duty. Okay. Studio
It's more
A
like 5 studios.
or 4. I know, but Studio A would do 2022. Studio B would do 2023. Studio B, C. So they all had
Nobody
2,
wants
3.
these dude bro games anymore, John. They're all watching anime. They all have want pink smoke.
so I think
feel
that
like it's never gonna be as
Battlefield
big as it was.
could not keep up with Call of Duty, and maybe they tried to release games too soon. And is that what killed them? Do they need to relook at their model? And do what
Yeah.
Call of Duty does, because and all the different developers that make Call of Duty all have different styles, and like a Treyarch game feels very different than an Infinity Ward game, and it's kind of fun though because it's like, oh, this year's Treyarch, next year's Infinity Ward.
Well, yeah, but then like if you play Warzone, you can see the studios like playing tug of war with each other.
I know.
Oh, I'm going to do this year, and I'm going to redo everything you did.
Right.
You know those studios are.
I
in a
know,
big
and
dick
Treyarch's like, but
measuring
my
contest
stuff
with each
has to
other.
stay in Warzone, even if Infinity Ward does it this year. Like, there's all these like, yeah, I know. Because I have the Cold War loadouts in there and the Modern Warfare loadouts. Like, they're all...
Yeah, like the new Warzone, like the icons look like they're from an 1890s Sears and Roebuck catalog, and everyone's like running around like they're on ice skates. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I know that's like Black Ops 6, movement system.
Right.
For me, yeah, I played. I was into Battlefield for quite a long time, probably like a whole decade. I only got back into Call of Duty like after I kind of got tired of Battlefield. But for me, the absolute pinnacle, I loved Battlefield 1. Like the immersion was just incredible with that game, and like it was so well made. Like it's just so immersive, like with the sound effects and the horses, and just the stupid amount of detail they put into like the gun reload animations, where like all the weird, crazy World War guns actually played into the gameplay, because like you could have this crazy gun and well maybe its reload animation is 5 seconds, so like you actually have to take that into account.
Right.
Like that was the detail on that was so amazing. That game was so great, and it had meaningful destruction unlike most of the other games. Well, Bad Company 2 is obviously the greatest of all time. So for me, as someone who bought Battlefield games for probably 10 years straight, probably more like almost 15 years straight, I want to be able to level buildings. I want to just turn the map into a wasteland. And if I can't do that, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. And that was one of the complaints with the last one. I think people said things were not as destructible. And it was kind of like going, I mean, that's part of Battlefield.
Well, that's the memory of 4 for me, was that Shanghai map with the skyscraper you could take down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that was a binary choice though. Like you had to put the bombs on the pillars.
Yeah.
And then but the thing is that only changed one thing. You look at Bad Company 2, you could level the entire town and it changed where people could hide.
No, I remember hiding in a house and all of a sudden the wall's gone. Like that
right.
shit.
So the destruction actively changed the gameplay, so it meant something. And that's what I really want back. And Battlefield 1 had that pretty good as well, like where you had the one map, it was called St. Quentin Scar, where there was the no man's land, like the trenches and everything was blown up and muddy. And then there was this quaint little French town. But by the end of the map, that town could also be pretty much leveled. And it felt like you were in a war. And that's why that game was so great.
Right.
I will just always simp for Battlefield 1.
I couldn't get into the World War I thing. Sorry.
We need helicopters that you love that you can fly around.
Well, 1942, I liked. That was World War II at least. But what made Battlefield 1942 for me was the aircraft carriers and the destroyers and the giant ships and the fucking planes. It was just the whole thing. So, all right, Ben, I think we're going to get out of here. Michelle.
Yeah, well, what's the best place people can keep up with you? Or what do you like to tell people where to find you or where to keep up with you or what you're doing, Ben? So, because I know people are going to be asking us.
Oh, yeah. So I have a personal YouTube channel, which is Ben Heck Hacks. So I make videos on there from time to time when I feel like it. Mm-hmm. And then you can go to my website, benheck.com, and you can play my latest pinball machine that I programmed, Evil Dead Pinball, which is now shipping. And I think we have about 100 units left for sale as well.
Ooh,
nice.
Awesome. Shout out Lizard King, because you asked about Evil Dead. He said it's one of his favorite movies, and he's super pumped for the pinball machine.
Yeah, you've done a lot of cool licenses, right? Texas Chainsaw, Evil Dead. What else was there? There's something else, right?
Well, no, these are the only 2 licensed pinball machines that I have coded. Yeah,
gotcha.
I worked on a few before, but these are the last 2 that I did. So, Evil Dead was a lot of fun because I got to write dialogue for Bruce Campbell, so that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually doing the voice acting it.
Yep. We have 160 pages of custom script.
That's awesome.
And Ben also made an accessibility controller for one of John's Arcade's viewers, I think. Yeah, right? So you can check that video out. You guys did a crossover thing about that. So, and you've done all sorts of fun stuff through the years. So check Ben out online. Thank you for joining us. It was a good time and we all learned something, hopefully. But if you want to find us during the week, head to videogameoutsiders.com. We've got show notes, episode archives, and we're giving away Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Sniper Elite Resistance in the Discord, as well as the Gunnar Optics glasses. Our sponsor, cdkeys.com, have a game awards going on. You can vote in. John and I are on the panel. We're excited. We're going to cast our votes and you can cast yours. So check out cdkeys.com and come to our Discord to win. And I think that's it, John.
That's right. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, subbing, all that shit. We'll see you very soon. Video Game Outsiders, out.
Hi, guys. We just hit 100 episodes of our SUPS podcast that we do in Discord.
My God.
I know, it's been so long. We've done so many. But of course, we've done 20 years of EGO. But we do a weekly podcast in Discord for our supporters. It's called SUPS, 10 minutes every Monday. And we wanted to give you guys one just to listen to the calamity that went on, because I want to know if you guys out there are Team Can or Team Tube. John and I got into a little debate. So check this out.
Listen, this type of stuff happens every single Monday in Discord. So if you're not aware, this stuff's going down. So
it is. That's right.
What do? They go to Discord and click a button or something?
Go to Discord on videogameoutsiders.com. You can win games. You can talk to other listeners and hosts like us, John, and Matt's even in there still. And all the guests that come on are usually pop in there as well. I've been kind of inviting them down. So check out our Discord on videogameoutsiders.com and check out this SUPS podcast, which is for supporters in there, and tell us what side you're on.
Hey.
Hi. I just got back from the dentist. I got to go back again next week.
Oh my God.
It's just never ending. I had a terrible week, John, but I'll tell you that Hello Kitty game has saved me. Because my dog had hives on her head pop up again. She's on prednisone again after trying a Benadryl for a week. I don't know what she's allergic to. We kind of had like a minor like medical thing going on in the family. And then I got the dentist. So just like, you know what? I need a game to distress. And that Hello Kitty game, John, save it, please save it.
Just save it.
We'll save it.
I mean, listen, I knew right away that it was for you.
Yep.
I'm glad to hear that, but I want you to tell me tomorrow.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow, as well as Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's getting great reviews. I'm looking forward to trying that. We're going to talk to Ben Heck. I don't know what he's up to, but we've got some questions. If you guys, as a sup here, have any questions, be sure to put them out. We'll ask him. So it's going to be a great show tomorrow. I know you played Sniper Elite. We're going to giving away a copy of that and Kingdom Come tomorrow as well. So we've got a lot of things happening,
nice.
John. It's an exciting time.
What are your thoughts about tomato paste in a tube?
Okay. I just looked and I'm like, I just said so much and only a minute has gone by. And then you go right into tomato paste in a tube. I did do it once for a recipe, but
because
I'm not
I've seen
fan.
it in all these cooking shows.
Yeah.
Like it's like the cool way to have tomato
because
paste.
you get like a really good concentrated tomato flavor. Like you really do.
No, I use tomato paste all the time.
Yeah.
I buy the small cans, okay?
Oh,
and
okay,
but you have to commit to that volume because
Right.
it's what do you do with it afterwards? Like a half a can of it or a third? So I usually just use it all or use some and throw it away. So the tube allows you
I've
to
done the
squirt some out
tube,
and then you throw it in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
It does cost considerably more than the
I
can.
think it's
like
better. I think it's better quality.
no, it's the same. It's the same brands of the
team tube.
paste.
How do we go into tomato sauce?
But what I'm saying is it's the same brand. It's in theory the same tomato paste I buy in a can.
It's more concentrated.
But now,
better.
that's the whole point of tomato paste. It's concentrated.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that I've
it's
used
the same
tube.
shit.
I've used the can before, like to add to a sauce or something, and I've used tubes. The tube has a little more zing. I'm team tube.
I don't know if I don't believe it. I think it's a
if we have any
convenience
vets
thing.
listening, please DM me. I need to talk to you about. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out.
Here it is. Looking for information about the difference between tube tomato paste and canned.
Oh, boy.
Same thing.
It's a
this
topic.
person says. I actually saw Alton Brown use a hack for those cans. Since most people don't use the whole thing. See, you freeze it solid and use a can opener.
Are you really
and
that
open
concerned about the 20 cents you're saving on your tomato paste, Grandpa? Come on.
No, but I've seen these chefs. They have the tubes. I'm kind of jealous of the tube. It looks a little more.
I like the tube. I'm into the tube.
So I made stuffed peppers. I used the tube. And I squirted how much I think I wanted, and then I put the cap on the tube and threw it in the fridge. Now I got more waiting for me.
Well, that's exciting. When you have tomato paste waiting for you, your life is complete.
It's on demand. All I got to do is remove the cap like a toothpaste and squirt it in.
On-demand tomato paste. Well, maybe you should get into
There's a whole Reddit thread, different container, but the same.
There's a whole Reddit thread on anything. There's a whole Reddit thread on people who want to fuck carrots. Okay?
Canned is less expensive per ounce milliliter and is more readily available. Other than that, they are the same.
I disagree. As someone who's used both, I prefer the two.
Okay. Here it comes.
Oh, yes.
Chick-fil-A moo.
Okay.
This person says most tubes are double or triple concentrated,
yes,
though.
I agree. Hello. I just said it. It comes out really, because I've used it too. It comes out really thick too. It's like way thicker. There's less water in it. So you may be getting more by volume in the can. It's the same, but it's not. There is less water in the tube.
Everyone on Reddit is.
I don't give a shit. Everyone on Reddit is
everyone
not
on Reddit saying it's the same thing.
It's not. I'm telling you, there's less water in the tube.
Minty Pork Chop says cans are stupid and impractical. Tubes aren't. There's your difference. Okay.
All right. We don't need to debate this stupid shit. Okay.
JP Reads Your Stuff says
thicker.
One's in a tube, one's in a can. They are the same product.
No, they're not. The cans are way loosier and goosier. I'm telling you, I've used both. Buy a tube and get back to me.
Deleted says the tube can be highly concentrated at different levels.
Exactly.
You can
There's
find that in your Reddit research.
Tubes. Exactly.
I like the tube better no matter the concentration, being practical for my cooking uses.
I want you to get the high quality tube, John, and tell me it's not thicker.
Centro. I bought the Centro.
Tell me it's not thicker.
Centro. I have the Centro in my fridge.
Is it thicker?
It seemed the same to me.
Oh, well, I don't know. I had some weird brand, but whatever. I feel like I'm getting
It
sick.
was like
but I'm not.
$3.
I'm just tired.
Or Cento,
It's
not
just a
Centro.
mess.
Your fucking mouth's hurting, your head,
Everything's falling
hives
apart.
and-
My dog. This is the third time in a year and a half she's been on prednisone. This is not good. You know, and then you got to wean them off it, and then her head's blown up with eggs, and she's got dots on
Eggs?
her face. Yeah, like big eggs on her head, like softball growing on her head, but she's acting fine. She's running around like an idiot, but she's, it's just like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to start doing an allergy scratch test. We've tried different foods. I live on a hill. There's who knows what. I don't know what's going on, John. It's a nightmare. But you know what? Hello Kitty saved the day. We'll get into that tomorrow. And yeah, what are you playing other than Sniper Elite? Are you going to try that Necro demo, or what are you doing? Is there anything else on your radar?
I got stuff to talk about tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you.
Not COD, please.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Yeah, that Rift of the Necro Dancer, I did try the demo. That one is the same people who did Cadence of Hyrule and Rift of the Necro Dancer.
Well, maybe I'll try that
It's
tonight.
actually not bad. It was kind of fun. I'd be curious how it would be
But
with
it's
the
not a
controller.
dungeon crawler?
I mean, no, it's a rhythm game. Yeah, it's like a Guitar
Well, the other
Hero
one
stuff.
was a rhythm dungeon crawler.
Okay, but the cool thing about this is that like some of the enemies that come out have like
It looks
to be
like
hit
Guitar
more than
Hero.
once. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it has this like different enemies that have to be hit and then they move and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I don't know why they did something totally different because the other thing is more unique. But I don't know. That demo's out. Kingdom Come, like I said, getting a lot of buzz, and then of course Hello Kitty. And I don't know what Ben's played. Maybe he played something, or maybe I don't know what he does gaming wise. Like if he's into pinball only or retro only.
No, he plays everything.
He plays everything. Okay. So yeah.
So I don't know if he's doing that every week, but we'll find out.
We'll find out more from Ben. Yeah, and if you guys, like I said, have any questions, but what's this other thing you're going to talk about, John? Like what? It's not
What?
COD, is it?
No, I just got stuff to talk about. Gaming.
Oh, really? Something isn't adding up to me.
What? I've been playing my games.
What are your games?
I have a collection of games I buy for my systems.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to revisit some things I talked about last week, okay? Just
Indiana
calm down.
Jones? You're going to get out of Egypt? Is that what it is?
Just calm down.
Okay. You're
I
gonna try
played
to
a
beat
lot
Indiana
more,
Jones?
a lot more Tokyo Extreme, and the game's
that's
opening
right.
up. I want to talk about that. I think that's
Right.
a lot of people on my friends list are playing that, and buying it. So
Sure. I think
It's
you're up to
popular.
something. I think you're up to something, John.
I'm not.
I'm not
really
believing
not.
any of this. But yeah, no, we'll get into some fun games and news. And then
I did play Sniper.
Yeah, it's getting mixed reviews. People saying it's like an add-on to 5, but it's Game Pass, right? So
I don't know if I'm playing new content. I assume I am.
right.
It's probably a continuation of the character in the story, but I couldn't tell you that.
I mean, it's
right?
like the Game Pass kiss of death. Sometimes you're like, why is this? But then they get good stuff too. So selective perception.
Right.
What's going on? Like, we got to get some news. I guess we'll be talking to Ben, so we won't need as much news. But it's the same boring shit. BioWare layoffs deal blow to video game industry stabilizing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Battlefield. Rumor
I saw that.
just came out. Yeah.
I saw that. And there's that Battlefield. What's it called? Their new program, Labs. I got to sign up for that.
Yeah, like
So-
there's some alpha or something you can get in on.
Yeah, Battlefield Labs is some way to play betas, I guess.
Okay.
Initial tests will include an invited group of players and servers located in Europe and North America. So I need to sign up for that. But yeah, what I saw a little bit of the trailer, and it's the same old destruction and
I feel like
chaos.
gaming has just changed so much. We've moved on.
Well, we don't have a lot of destruction in games, though. Battlefield did that pretty well.
I know.
Like, I'll never forget Battlefield 4, that Shanghai map, and you could tear down the
Will
skyscrapers.
something like that ever be that popular again, though? I feel like people
I don't know,
have
but
changed.
Battlefield 4 was what, 15 years ago, 10, whatever it is, 12.
Yeah.
Like, we were blowing up literal skyscrapers, and everybody on top went down with the skyscraper. It was fucking sick. Like,
right. Yeah. no,
everyone's
I know.
trying to get on top of the skyscraper. There's dudes coming up elevators. I'm in the helicopter trying to get on the roof. And then there's guys down there planting charges and taking the, supports down for the whole thing to collapse. Like, that is fucking epic dream map. Oh my God.
Right.
Like I think the last
hope you get in
Battlefield
to try it
had
early.
something like that. But I don't know. Games just are not getting better. We're going sideways.
Yeah, we're going to in a weird direction. Like we've talked about it. Like we need
sideways.
More, we need
Just
more
sideways.
we need more dude bro games getting made well.
By
Like, I
dude
feel like
bros.
yeah, so hopefully Doom, like the new Doom, looks good and that will be fun. But there's no multiplayer on it, so
Right.
I don't know. All right, well, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. We got a lot to talk about, and it's always good to talk to Ben. Like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free to shout us out here and find out the mystery of whatever else John played. Egypt.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.
I must like it.